All right, as Javier said in the text, we're gonna be running through some stuff with Go High Level tonight. Um, so if you didn't get the text or you are not already a high level subscriber, tonight's not going to really help you much. So um, if you're not a high level subscriber, um, you are excused from the meeting. You do not have to be in this. So you don't have to be in here anyway, but we're going to go through, we're going to talk about making sure you know how to set up, to configure your calendar, to integrate your calendar, and to build new calendars, and then how you can hook up your automations to those. Most of you probably have the snapshot. You may have never used it, but there are a lot of automations already that we've already built. Um, we're in the process of doing a whole lot of other stuff. We'll talk about that a little bit more as the meeting goes on. But we are looking to build a lot more automations and a lot more things that you can do with the system. And looking for, by the way, looking for ideas from you all that of things that you feel you might need, things that you think might help you. Some of it we may already have. You may not know that we have already, but the platform is so powerful that it can do almost anything. Um, and it is getting better all the time. There are there's a lot of stuff going on in the AI world right now. If you're following that at all, it is just progressing so quickly. It's hard to even keep track of all of this. Um, but here's what I believe. If you are not using AI, you're going to get left behind. So we are trying to stay on top of that. Um, the difficult part is knowing which rabbit hole to go down because there are a lot of them. But we've got a pretty good, I feel like we've got a pretty good handle on it. And we've got a lot of good things that we can put together and bring to the team. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself. All right. So we're going to go in here. I created a new account a little bit ago, and I'm going to show you how this works. So this is all being recorded, by the way. Okay. So you can get a copy of it. Um, I'm hoping that all of you actually, why don't we find out? Is there anybody who has not met with Farah to do your onboarding? Has everybody done their onboarding? Okay. All right. If you've done your onboarding, there's a good chance you've already set this up. But in case you have not, I'm going to show you how to do this. So when you're in your account, you simply would go to settings, and then you would make sure you've got yourself set up in here as your account admin. Okay. Where you just got all your information in here. And then we're going to configure your calendar, but we're not going to do it here. We're going to go over to where it says calendars right here on the left-hand side. And we're going to go to connections. Okay, so now we've gone to settings, then we've gone to calendars, and now we've gone to connections.
This is the wizard, right, Rhett?
Yes.
Okay.
And then you're going to hit add new. and you'll see that you can connect your Google Calendar, your Outlook calendar, your iCloud calendar, or your Calendly calendar. Now, this just came out. The truth is, if you are spending money on Calendly, you don't need to anymore. Not if you have Go High Level. Go High Levels, in my opinion, the calendars, the way you can integrate it, is much better than spending money on Calendly. But we're going to go to Google Calendar, and I'm going to connect my Google Calendar. And it's really this simple. I just clicked on it, and now it's here. Okay. So my Go High Level is now totally integrated with my Google Calendar. Now, if you are like me, I have multiple calendars in my Google Calendar database. So right here, down here, I can link, depending upon which ones I want to use. I can link either my, like in my case, I'm only using now, I've got a bunch of calendars in here, but I'm only using personal appointments and work main. I actually do everything now in appointments. It's like Denny got kicked out. Um, so I, and here's why this is important. When you integrate your calendar into Go High Level, this way, when you are trying to set appointments or you're allowing your clients to set appointments, it's not going to conflict with any appointments you already have. So you want to have a calendar that basically is going to be able to let Go High Level know that you either are available or not available for appointments. So everything that I do that is either going to be blocked off or if I have other appointments, it doesn't matter if I'm doing an appointment for my real estate business, for Go High Level, for a 403B, or for a IUL, or whatever. You may have several different businesses you're doing. If you put all of your appointments into one calendar, like I've done, where I name it appointments, and or like for me, real quickly, I will show you this. So here's my appointment calendar. Everything in yellow is appointments. Okay. So you can see my screen, right, Fern? You can see my calendar. Okay. So you can see here, like I had like this is the doctor's appointment I had. This is a demo I was doing. This is the client that I was doing a listing appointment for. I had a lunch appointment with a buddy of mine at title company. I did a listing review with a listing I have in Cerritos this afternoon. This is the meeting tonight. Everything that's yellow is an appointment. If somebody tried to go to any of my calendars, and I'm going to show you, I've got 30 calendars, I think. If they tried to go to any of my calendars, they are all connected to this appointments calendar in my Google platform. Like, and it these may not. It doesn't have to be necessarily an appointment with the client. Like tomorrow, I'm having dinner with my wife, and I have here from 6 to 9. Now, the reason it's 6 to 9, I don't plan on spending 3 hours at dinner with my wife, but I'm available from, I think, 7 a.m. And I'm going to show you where to do this from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. And I want to just make sure that nobody comes in and tries to schedule an appointment at 9 p or at 8:30 or whatever it is. So I have just basically blocked it off. Now, I know Javier does sometimes where he actually just he goes in and he creates an event and he just calls it blocked off and then hooks it to his appointment calendar. And this would be he could do like let's say tomorrow from let's say 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. I don't want to be bothered during that time. So now if anybody tried to go to my calendar and schedule an appointment, this time frame will no longer show up. Okay. All right. I'm going to delete this, get this out of here. Okay. All right. Any questions on that? Everybody cool? All right. So,
Hey, Ryan, I'm sorry,
yeah,
real quick. So, you and I discussed before. So, if we have an appointment where we're traveling, right, we want to build that drive time in as well. So, nobody's necessarily scheduling within that time. So, if we're setting that up that way or going back to change it, sometimes it can send an additional notice out to, let's say, the lead, right, or your
yeah,
appointment saying, hey,
yeah.
this has been changed.
So here's how you would do that. Okay. Um, let's say, like for instance, you see this Presenters Academy here.
Yep.
Notice it's not yellow. Well, that's because I didn't create this. This is was created from Javier's Eventbrite. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, if I want to make sure that I've got everything covered for drive time, and by the way, you can do this around appointments that go high level sets for you. I would simply go in here and I would create a new event and I would say, okay, on Saturday, I don't want to be bothered from 7 a.m. because remember, my um, work day in my calendar starts at 7 a.m. I don't want to be bothered from 7 a.m. till let's say 1:30 because it takes about an hour to get over there. I want a little bit of time. And then I'm going to put this on my appointment. Okay. So now what I've done is I've blocked off the time around this. Now, if this were a go high level appointment, I could do the same thing and just bracket it. That way, no extra. So what Steven's talking about is if I set up or if a client or I set up an appointment with somebody at 10 a.m., for instance, on Saturday morning, I may be a half hour, an hour, hour and a half away from them. And if I don't block that time off, it's possible. And in fact, Julio and I have had this happen before where I'm driving to Palm Springs or something on a to do a staff meeting, and somebody comes in and books an appointment, 45 minutes or a half hour before my before the staff meeting's set up. So you just learn to you want to block off that time, figure out how much time you need before and after um, to for drive time. Now, um, there are ways of doing this inside your calendar as well. However, um, if you do it inside the calendar, and I'm going to show you that here in a moment, it will happen on every appointment, not just the ones you have to drive to. Does that make sense, Stephen?
Hmm.
Okay. All right. Let's go back to here. All right. So now so the first step is connecting up here to Google itself. That's the platform. Then here, we want to connect to the correct calendar that you are utilizing for all of your appointments. Hit save. We're going to close that. It's still processing. Bam. I'm going to refresh.
It shows up automatically, Rhett,
Yep.
on other.
You may have to log in the first time into your Google. I've
Mhm.
got several accounts, so it's technically got all my information built in, but it's just one extra step where you'd have to put in your login credentials to Google.
Mm.
All right. Okay, so you'll see here now, I'm my connected calendar is Google. My calendar configuration is it's going to check everything against my appointments in Google to make sure there's no conflicts. You see right here, right? So now I go to calendars and I'm going to show you how to create a calendar from scratch. And then I'm going to show you, you can have an unlimited amount of calendars depending upon what you're doing. And I'll show you why that's important here in a moment. But we're going to create a brand new one from scratch. and it's just going to be a personal booking. So you have the ability to do a personal booking, a round robin. Um, Typically now, I heard, I think Javier was telling me that he had heard, or he had set a calendar up with Zoom and didn't have to use round robin. It used to be like several months ago when I was creating all my calendars, in order for it to be a Zoom based appointment, it had to be on round robin. But I think he said he was able to set one up on a personal booking the other day. Class booking, this is something that we're going to start replacing Eventbrite with class booking directly here in Go High Level. And then there's more ties. But for right now, we're going to do just a personal booking calendar. And we're going to name this, we're just going to name it Demo. You're going to go in and you're going to select yourself. Now, when you did your onboarding, Pharaoh would have added you in over onto My Staff. That was the first screen I went to. So you want to go into your account, click on Settings, open up My Staff, and make sure all of your information is there. Okay. And then when you come here, you're going to select yourself as the team member. And then you're going to give this calendar a name. Like, for instance, I'm just going to put in here RBS demo. Okay. Now, if it comes back and maybe it says something like if I do this wrong, it will tell you this slug. This is called a slug, is not valid because I've got an invalid character here. I can't have an underscore. I can do a hyphen, but I can't do an underscore. And I can't use the same name or slug more than one on one calendar. Every calendar has to have a unique name.
That's good.
Okay. All right. Now, in this calendar, we have another place that we're gonna go that we can really dig down deep and create a lot of different parameters in here. But for the moment, I'm gonna say this is the 30-minute. Now this could be anywhere from it could be a 5-minute, it could be a 10-minute, it could be hours. Okay. So this is the 30-minute. And then when am I available? Okay, so this is extremely important. You have in your business, in your My Staff, you're going to have, in fact, let's just go there real quick here. Because this is the other day, Javier called me and he's like, I don't understand why I can't get the calendar to show up correctly. It's not showing my appointments. And it does the My Staff user availability overrules all the calendar availability. Like, for instance, since I just created this account, I have not gone in and fixed it. If I were to go to my account, my personal account, you'll see here, I have it set up Sunday through Saturday, 7 days a week, from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Okay, every day. I do it that way because I don't want to have a conflict with a calendar and maybe forget that I'm only available from, technically on Fridays. I don't like to, well, we've learned that Fridays are a really tough day to try and meet with people. Most of the appointments we set Friday afternoon and evenings cancel. And maybe I don't want to work after 4 p.m. or 3 p.m. on Saturday, and I don't want to work on Sunday most times, right? Well, if I forgot that if I set that up here, I may have a reason that I need to work on Sunday in a particular type of business or a particular thing that I'm trying to do. And for instance, like oftentimes, if you're going to do an annuity conference call where you're gonna get the teacher on the phone and try and get the provider on the phone, they may not have time to do it during the day, so you got to do it in the morning, early in the morning, because a lot of these providers are back east, right? And so that's why I actually had this at 6 a.m. For, during school time, just because every once in a while, that's the only time we're going to be able to try and get a hold of somebody, right?
Mhm.
But so I'm going to give my point is in your staff user availability. I think Javier's now, I think we set him up 24 hours in the staff availability. That does not mean you are going to be available to your clients then. You're going to be available to your clients based upon the way you set up your calendar. Does that make sense to everybody?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Now
Absolutely.
let's go back to here. Actually, I'm going to go back to my staff and I'm going to fix this. So I'm going to go back to my user availability because in your sub accounts right now, or in your account, this probably has not been changed. Okay. Now this is set up for 24 hours Monday through Friday, but I want to make sure Saturday and Sunday are in here as well. So if you are working Saturdays and Sundays, when you did your onboarding, when this account got created, it got created just Monday through Friday. So you're going to want to go through and make sure these time frames are right. Make sure your time zone is correct. Okay. Don't worry about the custom and meeting location for right now. Don't worry about any of that. Okay. All right. We're going to go back to calendars. Again, we are still in settings. You'll see right here, we are still in settings. So now we're going to go back to calendars.
Question, Brett, Rhett, that's going to be the East Coast or Pacific time? We set the calendar at Pacific time,
No, we
right?
set the calendar for where we are.
Okay.
So PDT.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So let me go back here. Right here. So just make sure it's showing. So it's not. It's the one that says America, Los Angeles.
Mm.
Okay. All right. Again, still in settings. We're now back at calendars. We're going to create a new calendar. We're going to make it a personal booking. We're going to call this demo. Remember, we hit select team member. 30 minutes. And now it's going to allow me, see, before these were grayed out. Now it allows me to go ahead and put these in. And now this calendar, I'm going to say, okay, so for these demos, when do I want to be available? And let's say I only want to be available from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. I hit confirm. Now I can go in and I can preview the booking widget here, but I'm not really done with this calendar. So I'm going to close it and I'm going to open it here where it says edit calendar. All right. So now it gives me the ability to make a few changes. So meeting details, the calendar name. This is what's going to show up on your client's invitation. Okay. So whatever our calendar name here is, whatever, and I'll show you, I've in my account here in a little bit, depending upon if it's a pension maximization review, if it's a discovery call, if it's an annuity call, whatever the case may be, that's what your calendar, that's what you want to name your calendar. Okay. And then the meeting invite title, you always want to have in here, and it's you'll see that it comes in as default, is contact name. And the reason that's important is because when somebody books, you want to know, you want to be able to see right on the calendar who that contact is. So it will show up on your Google Calendar as well as your Go High Level calendar, and I'll show you how to see that. As soon as that booking is done, it's going to automatically integrate and put it not only in Go High Level Calendar, but it's going to put it on your Google Calendar under, or my, in this case, in my Google Calendar under my appointments. Okay. All right. Now we're going to go to availability. I can make adjustments here as far as on a daily basis if I want. Remember, as you just have to make sure, like if for instance, if I had this in my personal calendar, I'm only available at 7 a.m. If I set this up at 6 a.m., there's never going to be an appointment slot between 6 and 7 ever, because I don't have it available in my team, in my staff. I'm not available at that time. So it doesn't matter what I put here. Um, it would never show up. Okay. But I'm available 9 to 4, um, 7 days a week. Now, here's another cool thing that you can do. In the beginning, you may not have a whole lot of appointments, but you don't want the clients to know that you don't have a whole lot of appointments. So this gives you the ability to come in here, click on look busy, and then you can just add, you can say, okay, automatically take away 25%. Make it
Well,
look like 25% of the day I'm actually booked. So maybe I only have, 10 spots for the day, or an 8 spots for the day. Um, but I can make it look like I'm as busy as I want to look. And that's important oftentimes, especially because some of the calendars, um, I don't know if this happens to you, but I get teachers that want to meet me at like 2:10 or 11:20. So in that case, you have to make sure your slot interval. Now, what the slot interval is how often is a appointment going to show up? Appointment time. So in this case, it would show up at 9 a.m., 9:30, 10 a.m., 10:30. Now, in some of my calendars, I have this every 10 minutes because that's what I know they want it. In some calendars, I have it every 15 minutes. All that means is this is not the length of time of the meeting, it's how many meeting slots show up. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put in here 15 minutes. Every 15 minutes, it's going to show a slot. I'm going to say well, I'll tell you what, I want to show you first with nothing in here. So I'm just going to let it go based upon my actual availability. My meeting duration. Remember, we set this up when we did the initial calendar, but I can change it here if I want. Um, Minimum scheduling notice. Now, it's important that you have something in here, because if you don't have a minimum scheduling notice, somebody could come in here, and even while we're on this meeting, somebody could come in here, schedule a meeting for immediately after this, and I don't have any time to prepare. So typically, I put on here for myself, I put 12 hours. Okay. Now, maybe you don't need 12 hours. Maybe you want to do it to where you could schedule an appointment for the same day. So maybe you want to do 4 hours or 6 hours or whatever the case may be. However much time you want prep time or notice time is what you would put in here. Personally, I do 12 hours. Okay. Now, date range. How far in the future are you willing to let them book the appointment? Now, there are some things, like for instance, if you're doing Facebook ads and or doing stuff that really need speed to lead, to where you want to get these people going right away. You may only let them book, 24, 36, 48 hours in the future, 1 to 4 days. Um, But you can put it, if you don't put anything in here, they can book as far into the future as they want. So typically you're probably gonna want to do no more than 30 days. Um, right now, I know we've had several teachers that have um, booked appointments or rescheduled their appointment for um, sometime in or later, late July because they were going on vacation. Okay, so it kind of just depends on who you're working with, what kind of appointments they are. I think in a lot of our calendars we have 9 days. But whatever you decide to want to that you want to put in here, but I would put something. Okay. So I'm going to put 14 days on this particular one. Maximum bookings per day, that's up to you. Now, maximum bookings per slot. This is important because if you don't put one in here, it's possible to get double booked. Now, if you are doing some kind of appointment, and oftentimes you are finding that you are getting ghosted. Maybe you want to do more than one booking per slot. Or maybe you're doing a Zoom call where you don't mind um, more people coming into the call. In that case, you would just increase this to however many you wanted. Okay. But typically, this is going to be set at one. Now, when Stephen was talking about buffer time, um, in this configuration, I have the ability to put in a pre-meeting buffer time and a post-meeting buffer time. The reason this is important is, let's say, for instance, like in our retirement and pension maximization Zoom calls, we know it's going to take about 45 minutes. Well, 35 to 45 minutes to really be able to go through um, their entire CalSTRS progress report, showing them where to set up their beneficiary, and running the retirement calculator. And this is all really before we dig into coming up with their plan and or possibly even writing the application, right? So typically when we send this um, in our uh, in our calendar for maximization, I think I have our calendar set up right now for 45 minutes. I used to do it for 30, but I think I changed it. We'll look at here in a minute. But I think I have it set for 45 minutes. But if I'm going to write an app, it may take me a full hour to do that. So, in order to be able to make sure I'm going to not run out of time and have to cut that short or be late to the next appointment or have somebody pinging to try and get into my Zoom room, I can put a post buffer time here of 15 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever amount of time I want. And I can set it up to where not only do I have a post buffer, but I also have a pre buffer. If I put a pre-buffer time in here, technically nobody could set up an appointment until 25 minutes after this appointment was supposed to end. Does that make
Mm-hmm.
sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Now, if I don't put the pre-buffer time, they could technically set up a time 15 minutes after
Mhm.
this appointment's supposed to be over. Because remember, I've got slots here of every 15 minutes. Okay. All right. We're going to skip forms and payments because we don't need to worry about any of that. Now we have the ability to determine how everybody gets notified. Okay. Now we can get notified in the app, but you always want to go in, and unfortunately, you can't do this by default. So you've got to go into notifications and additional options, click on this little edit symbol here, and just turn on the email section. And so what's going to happen is, and I do it for all of them, even though this shows the unconfirmed one. But so let me show you how. So we have a confirmed appointment here. I'm going to enable. Here's who's going to get notified. The contact's going to get notified with this email. Your appointment's been scheduled. Here are the details. What's the title? Demo, date and time, and how are we meeting? Okay. And that's going to show up when we decide in the calendar how we're actually meeting. If we're meeting via Zoom, I put the Zoom link in there and it would automatically show up here.
Oh,
Okay. All right. So that's what's going to go out to the contact. And then the assigned user, which is you. Okay. In your snapshots, the assigned user is automatically taken care of. So when somebody books an appointment, even if they are not in your contact already, when the contact gets created, I've got it set up to where it automatically assigns you as the user, so that everything else works and that contact is tied to you. Okay. So you're going to get an email that tells you somebody just booked an appointment. And you can put in here additional emails. So you can add other people to this if you want. Okay. All right. Then we're going to hit save. And then you want to do the same thing for cancellation, reschedule, and reminder. You want to make sure that you go in here and you enable both in-app and email on all of these. That way you're going to get a notification when somebody cancels or reschedules that appointment. Because otherwise you wind up, you're thinking you have an appointment because you haven't checked, and you don't have it set up to tell you, and you show up and you're all alone. Okay.
Rhett, I
Yeah.
don't mean to mess up your flow, but I don't have those options on the left-hand side. So from calendars and I go to availability, I just have the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and the times, but I don't have what you have on the left. Is there like a sidebar I'm supposed to click?
You don't have this over here?
I do not. I'm on the calendars,
Are you in
availability. Am I what?
in settings?
Yes, settings, calendar, availability.
But you're not seeing notifications and
I don't see that. My calendar, my settings are up top. I have calendar, preferences. Maybe it's here. Nope, that's not it. Availability and connections. But I don't have the forms and payment or the notifications.
okay, I'll take a look at it after the meeting.
Yeah, no worries. I just wanted
I'm not sure. I don't know why you wouldn't. Stephen, you have everything. Yours looks just like this, right?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe we're punishing Denny for something. I don't know.
Older version.
Yeah,
I did have
take a
the
look at it, Denny.
older Wizards.
I'll see if I can. I'll see if I can troubleshoot that with you here in a bit. Okay. All right. So you're going to want to go ahead and turn on all of these. I never do the follow-up. So I turn all of them on except the follow-up. You don't really need it. I always allow rescheduling of meeting. I leave these blank where the rescheduling link, it says it will expire. It will expire after the meeting time begins. I also allow cancellation of the meeting. Now, In the reminders, they're also going to get the ability to reschedule with a reschedule link. It's all built in here. Reschedule link and cancellation link. Now, some people say, well, I don't want to give them the ability to cancel. Well, then they just don't show up. And it'd be better if they'd be better if you know about it. Now, eventually, in fact, I've already built it. We just have to kind of launch it. We have the ability to, instead of sending your clients a link, you can actually turn the AI on, and in the text messaging, if they need to reschedule or cancel, they simply text saying anything about, sorry, I have to reschedule, or I need to cancel, or whatever the case may be. And the system will automatically, the AI will come on in the text messaging, in the SMS, and say, "I'm sorry to hear that. Do you have a date and time in mind to reschedule?" If they've asked to reschedule, if they've asked to cancel, sorry to hear about that. I don't remember what I have it set up, but then anywhere from 1 to 3 days later, it's going to contact them again to reschedule that appointment, even if they've canceled. Okay. And there's a nurture in there that if they respond and they book an appointment, it takes them out of that workflow. Otherwise, it kicks them back in, and 1 to 3 days later, again, they're going to get what we would call a bump reminder to reschedule that appointment.
And
Okay.
Rhett, where are you setting up that automation? Because right now, I'm just getting people that say that in their text, like, I need to reschedule. So where is that?
It's not set up yet.
Okay.
It's in beta test. In fact, I think I saw Julio here. Is he here? Julio, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Julio's. So Julio has seen this. I showed it to him, and I mean it works beautifully. I went in and I created a dummy contact, and I had it cancel an appointment. And 2 days later, sure enough, the AI went in and sent out a bump reminder. And it just, if the contact responds and books an appointment, then it's going to take it out of that nurturing bump reminder workflow. If they say anything other than, or if they respond with a message versus a booking, then what it does is it notifies you that you've got a response to a booking bump, and that you need to manually take over because they are wanting to converse with you versus book with you. But it tells you that. It warns you about that. It sends you an internal SMS saying, "Hey, Julio responded to your bump reminder for a booking." So then you can go in and look at the conversation and take over from there, and either schedule the appointment, or call them, or whatever, or put them on do not disturb, or whatever the case may be. Okay. Any questions on that? We'll be launching that soon. Now that we're in the summer schedule, these Thursday nights are going to be, from what I understand, this is where we're going to be talking about Go High Level a lot. Okay. Um, uh, just so everybody knows, I am not on call to do your high level. Okay. Um,
Wait, what?
I'm not on call to
Well, I'm out of here then.
technically be your Go High Level specialist. Okay. Um, there are a couple people
You
that
look like a specialist to me.
there are a couple people that I've been working with, that are kind of a separate deal. But I'm going to be holding some of these classes. But at the end of the day, um, most of what you're going to need to do is get onboarded with Farah, and then pretty much everything that I have learned, I will tell you this, everything that I have learned on how to do Go High Level, I've learned through YouTube. All you have to do is go to YouTube, and you start the search with NGHL, and then you just say, how do I do this? And there are literally thousands of how-to videos. Just go to the most recent, and it will show you step by step. You can learn step by step everything I've learned and how to do it. And then on our Thursday nights, if you need some additional help, I'll be happy to come in. So we're not going to worry about any of the customizations right now. Now we've got all this set up. I'm going to hit save. Now, so you've got edit calendar, share calendar, and troubleshoot calendar. For right now, don't ever click on troubleshoot calendar because you're not going to understand what you have to do that. Okay. If the calendar's not working, we'll figure out why it's not working. But if you've done everything the way I just showed you, the calendar should work. So now, how do we send this link? So we hit share, and you're going to want to always use the permanent link right here. Just hit copy. So here's my widget. Okay. Now, this is a URL, so I can put this on a web page, a landing page, or I can just send this out in the text message. Okay. So now let's look at tomorrow. You'll see that I have a 9 a.m., a 9:15, and 11 a.m. What happened to the 9:30, 9:45, 10, 10:15, 10:30? Well, if we go to my calendar, you'll notice here I'm booked from 10 to 11 tomorrow. So that's why it's not showing up here. Okay. But let's book an appointment here. We're going to book one for 11 a.m. tomorrow.
Mm.
And I'm just going to hit schedule meeting. I'm going to refresh. Now I'm going to go into my so you'll notice here. Now this is in Go High Level. This is my calendar view in Go High Level. It's not going to show what the appointments I have on my Google Calendar, what they are. It's just going to show that I'm booked. I'm blocked off. But the appointment that was booked through Go High Level is right here. And if I click on this, it's going to show me who the contact is. I'm meeting with Rhett Stafford. And why am I meeting? Demo. Everybody see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I go to my Google Calendar, look what just showed up. Now, this is me as the client. Okay. It pops into my calendar automatically as the client. This is me as the user. And you'll notice that the difference is just the color. Okay. So that's how I know what this is. But if this was, somebody else's name, obviously it would show up under their name. But because I've set it up, that was something I probably did. Let me show you. Go back to settings, calendars. See where I did that. Trying to remember where I have that. Oh, here we go. Under meeting details, I can change the color based upon the calendar. So I could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different colors that each one represented a different calendar. Like I think on Discovery Call, I think I have it as green. So that when I go to my Google Calendar, if I had some green slots here, I would know that was a Discovery Call.
Hmm.
Make sense?
Makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. So you can color code your Go High Level appointment calendars to show up in your Google Calendar with these different colors. But
Great.
but everything that comes through here, no matter what color it is from Go High Level, you think of it as the color, whatever color it is that you've got set up for your appointments calendar, because it's automatically, regardless of the color that Go High Level is pushing to your calendar, it's going on to your appointments calendar or whatever calendar you've configured um, for that calendar and Go High Level. And
But
by
in
the way,
color, right?
I'm sorry,
But in color.
but in color, exactly. Now, you may have multiple calendars. I don't know how you would work out conflicts on this, because you could have multiple calendars in Google that you're setting appointments on. But my opinion is every appointment, like I'm running, I mean, 5 different businesses, I think, right now. Regardless of what I'm doing, whether it be the real estate or 403B or IUL or a listing or a demo on a AI or whatever it is, it's all goes into my or dinner or I just want some time off, right? That all has to go into my appointment calendar because all of my calendars in Go High Level are tied to that particular um, calendar so that I don't have any conflicts. I never have to worry about it. Okay. Um, let me show you how this works now. Let me go to my calendar. Okay, so you see, I actually have 31 calendars. Okay,
What?
31. And let's see how many of them. Okay, so this one's, oh, that's right. This is one that I had with Julio that we actually had an issue with it. So we wound up deleting that so we don't use it. Yep, they're all active. Okay. So maybe like for instance, I've got a discovery consultation for Living Trust because I do Living Trust. And that's a 20-minute consultation. It's personal, it's all on by phone. Here's a 403B setup where we're setting up their SRA. Okay, that I only need a few minutes. Um, these are Julio's calendars, demo calendar. This is the one we just did. Okay, created today. I have an initial consult, an in-person retirement plan review, and then in each of these, you'll see like this is the 45 minutes. This in-person is going to have, I guarantee you, it's going to have, see, 45 minutes here, and I've got 14 hours, and I've got post buffer time 30 minutes. I don't have a pre-buffer time on this. I'm not sure why I don't, it's not even showing. Here's a Denny issue. Maybe I got uh, Denny rubbed off on this. I don't know why I don't have a pre-buffer on this. But I can go in and make these changes, but I've got all of these calendars based upon different things. Now, here's why this is important. I have automations, and in your if you go to can't be in settings, but if you go to automations in your account, you're going to have in your snapshot an SM police. This is you've got police and you've got teacher. Okay, so this is specialized markets for teachers and specialized market for police. Okay, and then you're going to have personal automations, and you're going to have you won't have all of these, but um, you're going to have a bunch of different calendars in your snapshot. Now, here's why this is important. Let's say, for instance, this pension maximization. The way this is set up, when somebody, so we can create workflows that are different and unique to each calendar. So we go in here and we create a workflow and we tie it to a calendar. Then everything in this workflow only relates to an appointment that was booked on that calendar. Because I may want to handle different appointment types different ways. So in this particular one, if somebody books an appointment on my pension maximization Zoom call appointment calendar, the first thing that's going to happen is it's going to put the it's going to create the contact if they're not already there. If they are there, it will update any new information that the contact put into the widget, into the booking widget. Like maybe I didn't have their email, or maybe I didn't have their phone number, or whatever the case may be. It will just update the information into their contact. It will then put them into my teacher leads opportunities workflow and put them in the plan review scheduled stage. Or if they're already in my workflow, it will move them automatically to that stage so that I can open up the opportunity workflow, and I can see exactly where all my contacts are. And it's going to make sure that the opportunity name matches the contact's name. That's what this is for. Okay. I can put in here an opportunity source if I wanted, school campaign, whatever the case may be, Baker to Vegas, whatever it is. I can also add an opportunity value to this. So, like for instance, maybe not at this point, but at some point, in some things you may want to put, the average you're doing, you figure that the average Zoom call that you do is going to return X amount of dollars. This would be something that you could track on your dashboard. Typically, we don't really worry about that, but there may be a reason for that you might want to do that. And then obviously status is open, and then we put allow opportunity to move to any previous stage, because sometimes you may get somebody that gets a little bit further and then needs to have a different appointment or needs to have another appointment. So by allowing them to have moved to a previous stage in the pipeline, it allows you to push them back if you needed to. If you don't have that on there, it wouldn't allow you to do it. Okay. All right. Then it automatically, if it isn't already, it's going to assign it to you as a user. And then in this particular one, I'm going to add, if it's not already there. Now, in a lot of cases, you will, when you put the teacher leads, at least from your yellow cards into your contacts, you will have already added probably tags to it. Like for instance, typically I add what's the school district, because I'm working in 4 different school districts. I put, are they a teacher or a principal? I put, did the referral come from somebody else? So there's a number of tags. You can put hundreds of tags in a single contact if you want. And then but the system is going to put new lead. So I can easily go in and see, I can just filter for new leads, and I can see all the potentially new leads that have come in based upon a booking versus me putting it in there. Okay. Next thing that's going to happen is I'm going to get an SMS that says Rhett Stafford has just booked a Zoom plan review appointment on whatever date and time. So that's going to come to me on my just in my regular iPhone SMS. Okay. Then there's going to be an email from me to them, in addition to the one that came from the calendar. They're going to get an additional email from me that I've set up here. You can, if it lets us see it. That just says, that just confirms everything again, but now gives them a little bit more information, shows them who I am, reminds them, that I'm the same person they saw at the staff meeting. That's going to go out. They're also going to get an SMS, and it's going to give them. I have my web link for Zoom in here automatically. Okay, and then 24 hours before the appointment. So you'll see here, I have an appointment set up on August 4th with Maria Bobadilla. Okay, so her appointment's set up for then. So 24 hours before that happens, she's going to get um, this next, and I can set this time up any way I want. I have it for 24 hours, but I could do 2 days, 5 days, whatever the case may be. In this case, it's 24 hours. She's going to get a reminder 1 hour before the appointment. She's going to get another reminder. This is an email reminder because I want her to join from the computer, not from her phone. Okay. She's also going to get an SMS. I'm also going to get a reminder that we've got an appointment in an hour. After 30 minutes, prior to 30 minutes, it's going to remind her again via SMS. And then finally, 5 minutes, it's going to remind her again via SMS that it's time for our meeting. And I can set this up any way I want, whatever wait times I want, however many reminders I want. There's a whole lot of stuff we can do in here with these automations. Okay, so any questions on what we've covered so far?
Yes.
Go ahead.
The new presentations that we're doing, we're now going to have a QR code embedded in the presentation for them. Have you put together the form for them to fill out? Have you put all the selections in there for that? And can I send you something that I'd like to see in that? Or are you guys just keeping it as name, email, date and time, and what you want to talk about?
I'm trying to remember if I think I've started that. I don't
So
have
something like, if they're going to do that, is there a slot in there to tell us, are they a principal? Are they a teacher? That just some of those other details we are just talking about.
Yeah, so that's the type of thing that I'd like you to make notes on and maybe send to me.
Great, thank you.
Things that you want to see or have in your automations. Let me just check here.
Yeah, I'm already working on the on that and the and for the phone the AI for the phone conversation as well.
All right, so that QR code would send them to something like this. Okay. And depending upon now I've got this one. This is the one that's set up. I think Javier showed it on one of the meetings. This is a AI that when they book the discovery call, and they click here, it's going to send them a text message that says, click here to begin your discovery call. And when they click on that, it's going to say call, and it's going to call the AI agent, and the AI agent is actually going to conduct the discovery call. You don't have to do it that way. You can set it up to where it's going directly to where you're going to, it's going to a booking link to where you're going to do a call out. Okay. So there's a number of ways that we're going to be able to do this. I was building this based upon a conversation that Javier and I had that basically was, a how cool would it be to be able to um, have the AI actually do the discovery call to get the information we need. And I think some of you heard this the other day. I think he did it in one of the meetings, or put it out in one of the meetings. Um, but yes, so we will have a full. Um, you'll have your own QR code. You'll have your own QR code that will go to your own landing page, and then based upon that landing page, um, it can instead of like when I do here, the second page is just a thank you after they give me their information. But the second page could be the booking widget to where they actually book their appointment right then and there, if that's the way you want to do it. So this is the type of thing that I'm talking about. You know, give me some ideas on what you think will help you, because I can build automations, and then based upon the way you want to do it, that's the automation um you would go in and actually um you would actually publish, because you may have a whole
Rhett,
lot of different
okay.
automations, but they don't have
Thanks,
to be published.
Rhett, that landing page, this is something, it's not within the wizard, right? We have to set that, we have to get that ourselves. A
No,
landing page.
no, it's everything's in Wizard. Everything that,
Everything's in wizard. Okay, great.
yeah,
Okay.
you would just go to sites, and you would click on, so either funnel or website. Typically we just do funnels, and then you just build the new landing page.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And again, YouTube will show you how to, it's really easy.
Yeah.
Once you've done a few of them, I mean, shit, I don't know how
I,
many you've gotten now. I've got a ton of them in here. But once you've done a few of these, it gets really, really simple. But
yeah.
we're also going to have several that they're already done for you.
Okay.
Where you just have to turn them on. Okay.
Oh, good.
So yeah, don't worry about that. All right, we are at 8:10. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't mean to go over. Any other questions before I let you go? That on the stuff that we've with that QR code, we may be able to use. Okay, so Jorge's asking, with that QR code, we may be able to use it as a car decal as well, right? You can use it however you can, whatever your imagination. You can print out that QR code and put it on a 8x10. You could put it on my wife, actually, I did a QR code for her. She put it on an 8-foot banner for something that she was advertising, to where you could literally see it, is hanging on the side of a building. You could see it from the street. So you can, yeah, you can use that QR code for pretty much anything. And here's the cool thing about Go High Levels QR codes is, let's say I've got this on some marketing, and all of a sudden I don't want to do that marketing piece anymore. I want to do a completely different marketing piece, but I don't want to have to replace everything that I've got out there. I can simply go in and redirect it to the new landing page. Okay. So instead of to the QR landing page, I could have it go to a whole different web page, landing page, whatever the case may be. I don't have to dump all that old marketing stuff because it's got the wrong QR code on it. Does that make sense? I can just redirect that QR code into anywhere I want. So
It reconfigures itself?
well, you have to, but yeah, I mean, I could literally change this, and 2 seconds later, if somebody took a picture and went to that QR code, it's going to go to the new URL.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that
So
fast.
okay. You funnel it somewhere else. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Okay. Any other questions? I hope this helped, guys.
Excellent.
That's good to hear. Denny,
Yeah,
I'm going to
thanks for the time for this. This is great.
what's that?
Thanks for taking the time for this. This is so helpful, you know?
Yeah, and like I said, do me a favor, drop me a line. Most of you should have my information. If not, get it to Javier and he'll get it over to me. But I'd be happy to I want to try and get some ideas. I've been asking Javier for this as well. Some ideas as far as things that you guys think will assist you in whatever it is, whether it be your pension, your Zoom calls, your in-person calls, whatever the case may be. If there's an automation that I can create that will help that we can put in the snapshot, I'd love to do that. I don't know how many. What do we got on here? We've got 15 people. Anybody realtors out there that are on the call right now? No? All right.
Yes, actually.
Okay. Well, for realtors, I've got a lot of stuff that I'm working on, by the way, that if that I'm going to be launching here shortly for realtors that are going to be really cool, some really cool AI stuff. Yeah, if anybody wants more information on that, just hit me up. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. Have a great rest of your
Thank
night,
you so much. Thank
and
you.
we'll see you
Yeah.
next week.
Brad, are you gonna call
Bye.
me or?
I'm going to call you, Danny.
Okay, bud.
And then we'll be getting the notes, right?
Yep.
Okay, great.
All
Perfect.
right.
Thank you.
Take care.